Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. So we have some more Xenoverse 3 first gameplay. Shoutouts to Globku. Shoutouts to Globku. In the comments, W Globku. If you don't know, I loved his Dragon Ball Fighter stuff in terms of tier listing the different characters. It helped me decide what team I wanted to roll with for Dragon Ball Fighters. So, but he has some gameplay here also. Matt be asking, Hostos man, why the fuck are you standing? It's because my chair's broken now. I broke my chair. Like, I'm not joking. Like, my armed chair is actually just completely, my left arm is just completely dismantled. I have to unscrew it and, uh, well, I'll have to, unfortunately, talk to Torchic about it. Fun fact, Torchic did buy me this chair. But, yeah, it's broken now. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this
This year
gameplay.
at
It'll be the only thing I'll be talking about in this video, so pretty cool shit.
Summer Games Fest, I got to see Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 gameplay for the very
Wait.
first. I got to see
Okay, Earthling. So this is all they had access to. Okay.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 gameplay for the very first time. I didn't get to play it, unfortunately, but it was played right in front of me. It wasn't a video, it was live gameplay, and it was a demo very similar to this one we're watching right now. I'm going to let it run uncut, and I'll let you know everything that was told to me during this presentation, everything that I was able to learn, as well as break down the gameplay that we're about to see. We're going to start right here in this room.
Okay.
We're going to take a look at the lobby outside of this room. I got to see the city outside of the lobby too, but unfortunately we don't have that footage. But then we're going to jump into a mission where you'll see some of the basics of combat, and we're even going to fight against the boss fight. The mission itself feels like a little bit like a parallel quest in Xenoverse 2. Though in this case, in Xenoverse 3, I don't know if that's actually the case, if it's a parallel quest, if it's a side mission. It looks to be a main mission, as Gamma 1 is actually calling us to talk about this request that he has. And so we'll head there and we'll have a big mission and a boss fight at the end. But we'll start right here in this room because it's kind of messy right now. It is the same as we saw in the revealed trailer, so
I wonder if you can customize your personal room.
But I was told that you can actually customize this room fully. You can change things around. You can make this room your own room. But if this is early game, it is going to be a little bit confusing because when we jump into a mission, you'll see that this character is actually level 40. Now, I want to bring up the stats that we saw right before we jumped into this bedroom, and you may notice that we have 5 stats this time around: HP, strike, attack, and defense, blast, attack, and defense.
Interesting.
And that is it. No stamina, no ki, no anything like that. Definitely a simplification of the RPG systems or the stats that we saw in Xenoverse 2. At least on the stats side like that. Definitely a simplification.
I actually kind of like that. I actually do kind of like that. Because, I'm sorry, it's a little bit much trying to manage ki and stamina. I do like that you don't upgrade necessarily. Strike defense and keyless defense is kind of interesting. You can kind of go like a true tank route, or you can go through like a purely offensive route. I personally like using Ki Blast. I don't usually use strikes as much. I'm more of a Ki Blast kind of guy, but yeah.
Or the stats that we saw in Xenoverse 2. At least on the stats side. Also, you may have
Jane
seen,
Dragon Ball is cheeked up low-key,
earlier,
so my mouse
month,
is
or I guess
rough.
last week, that had a little bit of a mistranslation. The GS on the character's shoulders, on their uniforms, the trailers and everything, that stands for the Great Saiyaman Core, not the Great Saiyan Core. And yes, this is Vegeta from the Saiyan arc that you're seeing right here in the lobby. I spotted Trunks, I spotted Goku as well. These characters seem to just be hanging around. They may be mentors like they were in Xenoverse 2.
That's what I'm going to assume.
Outside, we're not going to get to see what the town looks like because we're going to jump straight into the mission. Now, why are these characters here? It will make sense. That's what I was told. But right now, the story, it was not the focus of this demo. It was definitely the gameplay. And here we go.
Oh, the double portal thing.
Portal. And the mission that we're about to embark in, most missions are actually 4-player co-op. If you don't have players to play alongside you, you're going to play as the bots. We see a Muzzy, we see a Frieza race.
What? 4-player campaign? 4-player missions? Oh! Bruh, please, Bruh, y'all are going to like. I'm playing this game on the channel. Oh, I can't wait for this game to come out. 4-player missions is insane. See, I wanted Sparking Zero to have co-op shit, like even co-op raid bosses or something like that, because I do love Sparking Zero visually. They just seem to, it just seems to not be that possible with Sparking Zero, but that's okay. But Xenoverse 3 is bringing what I'm having. I will say this: please do not get the game on PC if you plan on playing with other people. I am telling you this right now. Do not get the game on PC unless you have multiple people that are also getting it on PC and you're only playing with them. Games like this do way better on console, and more specifically, PS5 specifically. That's where this thing's home is going to actually be. Yeah, I just recommend if you play solo, generally speaking, get it on PC. But if you plan on playing with other people, and especially random matchmate stuff, do not get this game on PC. Get it on a console, either Xbox or PlayStation. Will personally be getting on PS5. Well, we don't know if this has crossplay. I'm going to guess that it won't, because that seems to be a standard, seemingly, with the recent Dragon Ball games, so that they just don't have crossplay. So do not expect this to have crossplay.
Earthling and Saiyans are also confirmed. So those are 4 races right now that
okay.
have been
Goose
confirmed
Chase, okay.
playable for Xenoverse 3.
This looks good.
I definitely am expecting
That's
the mechanics as
interesting.
well, but we'll see if they have any.
Oh yeah, this is
right now.
sure.
There's a lot going on screen, and I'll be sure to take my time to break down all of it.
Well, okay, so first off, before Globku breaks it down, first off, let's take a look at this UI. This is very interesting. So, of course, you have your regular moves and whatnot. Okay, so what we saw in the trailer was not drawn Dragon Ball using Kaioken with Super Saiyan. What we saw was him using Kaioken Assault while being in Super Saiyan, so it gave him that effect around his body. So it's not an actual form or a temporary thing, so that's fine. Also, we can see here, we have some charges of some sort here. Also, I'm guessing that these are what the enemies are weak to, maybe? But yeah, we can also see Trunks there as well. I'm assuming that one of these is the ultimate or the blast or whatever that you choose, and then one of the L2s is assumedly your limit burst.
I definitely am expecting the mechanics as well, but we'll see if they have any more announcements beyond that. Right
Okay,
now,
wait.
there's a lot going on screen, and I'll be sure to
Let me
playable
list.
for Xenoverse 3. I definitely am expecting the mechanics as well, but we'll see
Saiyans are for sure going to be
if they
playable
have
as well.
any more announcements beyond that. Right now, there's a lot going on screen, and I'll be sure to take my time to break down all of it. First thing you may notice is Kaioken Assault and Kamehameha, 2 big special moves that were done immediately. Big break as well,
looks
and
pretty
this is
good.
Super God Fist. Now, the skills are on cooldown. You can't just do them. You can't just spam them. They don't cost
kinda
key
like that.
anymore. They are completely free, but you do have to manage the cooldowns, which are pretty short, to be honest. Speaking of key, you may...
I don't know if I like that necessarily. I will say, Xenoverse 2, one of the kind of issues with it was very difficult to get key, and charging key was a specific skill you had to equip. You couldn't do it by default. I'm assuming that Xenoverse 2, like Xenoverse was trying to 3 is trying to separate itself more massively from Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero is all about key management. Xenoverse 2 is more about stamina management, but you did have to manage key as well. So I think they're kind of lessening the thing on that. This also probably means that stamina breaking is not exactly a thing, but guard break probably is. So I find that quite interesting as well. I don't know if I like it being on like cooldown specifically. So far, this is feeling like Xenoverse 3 mixed with other things, like a stereotypical MMORPG.
may notice that there is no stamina. He does both things, offense and defense. Stamina was more of a defensive resource back in Xenoverse 2. You could use it for some offense stuff as well, but there was a clear divide of like, okay, we're going to use key for offensive skills and stamina mostly for defense. Now, you have to manage both. You see the key bar at the center of the screen. It's a very crucial piece of resource, and that's why they put it front and center. I believe you can have a maximum of 5 key bars, and since they are not a stat that you level up anymore, it may be homogenized. Every character may have 5 key bars. The reason why I believe that is that every enemy Also has 5 key bars. Every boss you're going to encounter here has 5 key bars. It might just be
I would like the
universal, 5 key
uniqueness
bars
of
for
some of
every
that
character.
stuff.
Here's the ultimate Super Kamehameha. You can
You
aim
can
it,
target?
targeting multiple characters, taking all of them down.
That beam is
Now,
huge!
on
That
the
beam is
left side of the
huge!
screen, you see the L2 button. That's how you do your ultimate, L2 plus triangle. The other 2 mechanics are brand new, but you will notice that there is no escape ability anymore. So that is a slot that they are seemingly getting rid of. Not to say that there aren't defensive mechanics. There's a new mechanic right there. Soul Assist, where you summon...
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you can summon a different beam. Okay, so yeah, they're definitely trying to push for... because in Xenoverse 2, it was pretty much about Cax and nothing else. And the regular characters is just a fun little aside. But this one, it seems like, yeah, you're calling a different character of your choosing to assist with, like, a beam. I'm assuming, like, certain characters might have strike-related ones, but I would not be surprised if most have beams, and then, of course, you have your soul switch as well. Oh, that's interesting. I will say we have only seen Cell Saga in prior characters, so I'm wondering how is Super better not be DLC. Dragon Ball Super better not be DLC. I'm relatively fine with okay in terms of what I need for monetization. All characters, from all super characters need to be there. I am I would like movie characters to be in here. I would like Dragon Ball Super Broly and Super Hero. However, more arc is definitely going to be the first DLC stuff. I would not be surprised if Daima as well is DLC stuff. So I would not be surprised if Daima is DLC, but I expect everything from OG Dragon Ball all the way through Dragon Ball Super Hero to be included with this game. I also expect Daima to have some characters in here. However, more arc will be DLC, and I do expect. Well, no, I expect Daima to be I'm assuming that Daima's going to be DLC, even though I don't want it to. More arc will definitely be DLC, of course. So yeah,
Of one of the Z Warriors of the past.
that's
I
pretty
believe
cool.
villains will also be available. I mean, it is Xenoverse,
I
but
mean,
we haven't
Vegeta
been
is Saiyan
confirmed
Saga is a
at
villain,
this
so
point. And yeah, you have 2 stocks of that. It does not spend any key. You just have it on a cooldown pretty much. The other mechanic, the other new mechanic, is called Soul Switch. And that is the Trunks face that you see right there. We will see that in action in a second as well. But I would love to tell you first that Soul Switch actually replaces your awakening ability. So, if you're an Earthling or, a character that doesn't have a big focus on transformations, I could see that being useful. But if you're playing a Saiyan, let's be real, you're going to have a Super Saiyan transformation in there. Or your favorite Saiyan transformation.
Oh, okay. So they're one and the same. That's interesting. That's interesting. I guess that's a way to balance it to where you don't. It's for characters that either don't have a ton of transformations, but I also would not be surprised if, like, Majins, for instance, in Xenoverse 2, their transformation is Kid Buu, which in most cases is kind of ass. So at least you don't actively want to do it. Just stick with using your CAC. So I would not be surprised. Like the Majin race could very well have a particular buff for using, a different Majin version of Majin Buu as your awoken skill or whatever. So that's interesting. So you can either do transformations or do this instead of the other way around. Now, I was curious. I thought this was going to replace Limit Burst, but that seems to not be the case. So I'm assuming that this form is going to work similar to Sparking when you full Sparking Zero when you go full Sparking, and it's going to have that meter. And using ult is going to obviously chunk that shit down. So that's kind of interesting. Also, there was a mention of raid, so I'm excited for that.
So Soul Switch may not see a lot of use in the final game when Xenoverse 3 comes out. That's just a theory, however. Who could say how players are going to use, how they're going to gravitate? But typically, it's Xenoverse. You want to create your own character, and you want to be able to transform.
Yeah.
So from here, we jump forward to...
Ooh, okay.
It is Broly,
Broly
Super. He's going to start with a big boss attack.
Okay.
Just, a barrage of Ki Blasts that you
this arena is very cool.
Icebergs for. You know, pretty simple
Actual
mechanic,
mechanic.
but it's good to see that they're still doing these big boss mechanics
Let's go. I'm so
that
happy they're
work
doing
really
boss
well in
mechanics.
multiplayer. I mean, this is a type of attack we've seen in a lot of multiplayer games. And this kind of
Actually, a
movement using the
true
environments to
RTP,
protect
probably
yourself
RPG. Like, damn.
from enemy attacks usually works really well. Now, with Ki being such a central resource, you will notice that a lot of the actions that used to use Ki, like super dashing, do not use Ki anymore. The homing
Which
dash
is
still
good.
does, but a lot of the actions that you do actually restore Ki automatically. Oh, here's the soul switch, by the
Okay,
way.
so this is
We're
Soul
going to become Trunks
Switch.
for a limited time, 41 seconds, according to the bottom left. And that is going to change your melee attacks. That is going to change your supers as well. And that's going to change your ultimate. In fact, I think we're going to see a couple of them. But speaking of Ki and stamina, as you are punching up the opponent...
Oh,
I just
broke.
realized Trunks actually has
Okay.
more Ki than 5 bars. So forget what I said about the universal mechanic. Or maybe it's a
Okay, well,
Soul
that's
Switch
good.
exclusive thing. There's a Burning Attack, and here's Shining Soul Slash. 2 more specials that we'll probably be able to equip on our created characters.
Oh, okay. This is pretty
Now,
sick.
as Broly takes damage, notice that his Ki is going down, especially when dealing melee damage. And with only 5 seconds to go, let's unleash the Heat Dome attack, the big ultimate. Now, speaking of melee attacks, it doesn't seem to be the case anymore that you just have a fixed set of melee combos depending on the race that you pick. It's not like all the Saiyans are going to have the same combos, all the Earthlings are going to have the same combos. I'm specifically talking about the square and triangle buttons, the punches and kicks, because now you can actually equip combos from, or movesets from your mentors. I've been told specifically that Vegeta and Trunks are available. The Saiyan that I saw being played, because I didn't see Earthling. This is an Earthling that we're watching right now. The Saiyan that I saw being played was using Vegeta's moveset. I'm not sure what this one is. Could be Vegeta as well. But you will be able to equip the moveset of different characters, and that's definitely going to increase the variety.
Again, I'm really hoping here that it's going to include certain Dragon Ball Super characters. Because in terms of like actual fighting, first off, my big question here is this going to include fusions? Or like, am I going to have the fighting style of Gogeta? Because that fighting style is the fighting style that I'm definitely going to go with. Mainly because I don't usually use weapons in fighting against whatever. I love Janemba and everything. So like some of Janemba's moves I will probably be using. But I'm also, this game's graphically is going to be determined by me based on how is going to be based on how, in particular, the little dashing thing is handled. So yeah, I'm really curious as far as how that's going to go and everything. But yeah, so I'm a little curious on how that's going to be handled and whatnot.
Of gameplay and the variety of character that you can actually create. Now, Ki doesn't only deplete when you attack an opponent, it also increases when you attack an opponent unless you are doing a series of homing dashes like this. Obviously, that's very expensive, but with the boss's health that low, it was definitely worth it. And that is the end of the demo. Obviously, there's still a lot to learn about this game, but I got what I wanted, which was to look at gameplay. These are the game's bones. This is what it plays like. From here, I would love to see what content they are going to bring into the game. But for now, I would just love to know what you thought of this space.
Okay, shoutouts to Glaku. I will be dropping a link to the original video in the description. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm so hyped for Xenoverse 3. They seem to be doing some similar marketing to Sparking Zero. Because I mean, it did work out very well for Sparking Zero until it didn't. So we got into the actual game. There was an obscene lack of maps. Speaking of which, that's gonna be my main thing. What maps do I have? What maps do we have? Now, Xenoverse 2 has a fuck ton of maps. But if I don't see Hell Stage, if I don't see fucking Hell Stage, Bandai Namco, I'm gonna strangle you. But so far, I'm super hyped for this game. Being able to play this with 4 people is really insane. I wonder how raid bosses are going to operate in terms of like grade 8 bosses, because usually grade 8s usually you have to fight them very differently than any other human-sized raid boss for the most part, because you have to like aim for the tail, you have to grab it, and you have to do a whole bunch of shit for huge grade 8 type bosses. So I'm curious if that's going to change here. or how similar it's going to be. So yeah, I'm curious how the outfits and stuff is going to change and that sort of thing, because I'm customization. So yeah, I'm super hyped for this game. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Again, reminder: if you plan on playing with other people, do not get this game on PC. A lot of people made that mistake on Sparking Zero, and they were later like, but you know, it's finding difficulty finding matches on PC." Well, it's like, yeah, like most people that play any sort of fighting game are on console. PC's not the majority. So I heavily recommend that you get this on console over getting it on PC. So yeah, that's I cannot recommend y'all enough to do that. If you plan on playing online, if you plan on just playing offline or single player purely, I kind of recommend you get it on PC because at that point, modding is available to you. But there's going to be so much customization in this game that, modding isn't necessarily going to matter. But yeah, I'm excited to see the stages. More details are just. For this game, there's a lot more details that can be revealed here, more than Sparking Zero, for example. Because, like, Sparking Zero, pretty much all it had was characters and some maps here. We have maps, characters, masters, customizations in terms of outfits, what characters do, like, what races can you be? Can you be Cell or Android? Can you be God of Destruction race? But also transformations. Can we use God of Destruction? Is Ultra Instinct actually good? Can we finally use Super Saiyan 4? Which version, GT or Daima? So and also for Majins, can you use the evil form, like for Evil Boo and Android 21 Evil? So yeah, there's a ton of potential here, ton of stuff here. I personally would not mind them dropping a demo for, playing purposes, but that they definitely won't do that. But yeah, I'm super excited for this game. So though, thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.